Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you're watching my review for Kiwaguro no Brynhildr, aka Goku Koku no Brynhildr, aka Brynhildr in the Darkness, episode 11, alright? In this episode, see, I knew they were going to freaking do this. I knew they were going to do it. There was so much in the manga to cover, and not enough time to cover. I've been saying this for like the last few weeks, and they did just what I thought they were going to do. They skipped stuff that shouldn't have been skipped. Alright. This episode starts off with Valkyria, and she gets confronted by the police. She ends up taking both them out and a part of the mountain out using antimatter. Okay? However, after that, this is when the changes start to happen, because you see Hatsuno wake up. Right, and she looked dead because her body was cut in half. All right, but her body reattaches because her magic is to regenerate. And this is a change because in reality, they had Hatsuna be one of the witches from the lab that was in charge of keeping track of Valkyria, aka Mako, and following her around, making sure she didn't do anything. However, that's not who Hatsuna is. Hatsune is just like Neko and Kazumi, alright, and Kana. She is a witch who escaped from the lab and was trying to just live a normal life, alright. She had this human friend who didn't know she was a witch, alright, and Mako ended up walking up to her because she could sense where witches are. She ended up walking up to her in order to steal pills from her because she had kind of gone against the lab. Therefore, she couldn't go back to the lab to get the pills she needed. So she needed to steal pills. So she decided to steal pills from witches, and Hatsuna was one of those witches. So she attacked Hatsuna, cut her in half, and then took her pills and left. All right. However, the human girl was just standing there the whole time, like, oh my god, like she was just freaking out. Then the top half of Hatsuna's body, she just starts like she reattaches herself and stuff like that. And the human just like she gets freaked out and runs away. Okay. Um, so Hatsuna is not. They made it look like Hatsuna. They said in this episode that Hatsuna was from the lab, like she was still at the lab, and she was given the mission of capturing 1107. No, no, that's that. No, that couldn't be farther from the truth. That literally could not be farther from the truth. All right, like the one thing that they did do here that was actually right was that Hatsuna overheard Mako talking about the witches being at the observatory. All right, so that's why she goes to the observatory. All right, she goes there and she sees them all dead, except for they're not actually dead. This happened in the manga too. Right, they fake their own death so that if Mako did show up, she might just say like, oh well, they're already dead. I guess I'll leave. You know, which probably wouldn't work, but whatever. That probably wouldn't work. I would assume. I don't know if this is true or not, but I would assume that she cannot sense witches who are dead. Therefore, if she sensed them, she would be able to confirm they're still alive. All right, but that's just a guess on my part. All right, I don't actually know if that's true. That's just a guess, an assumption I'm making, a theory. Um, but yeah, they faked their own deaths and they just, they got up and everything, cleaned themselves off, all right. And that's when they're talking about how she was sent from the lab for cover 1107. No, that's a load of crap, all right? That's a load of freaking crap, right? Hatsune was actually friends with all of them except for Kotori because Kotori, she, they didn't really say anything, but Murakami he made a point of saying like, oh wow, you mean she doesn't know Kotori? That's weird. Um, I don't want to go into too much detail about it though. But yeah, they'll probably tell you in like another episode or two. Well, there are only 2 episodes left. They've got to. Um, but yeah. Um, so they messed up Hatsune's character, changed her backstory completely. Great, awesome. Not really. After that, we get our weekly dosage of fan service. All right, at the little hot spring scene, and they're talking about Murakami here. And after hearing the kind of person they believe Murakami to be, Hatsune decides to test him out. All right. she decides to test him by pretending to be stuck on this tower thing, right? And she wants to see how far he's willing to go in order to help her. However, this test of hers ends up putting Murakami in legitimate danger, okay? Because they're both falling off, all right? You saw the episode, and she tries to get him to let go, but he just won't because one, he doesn't believe her because she's trying to tell him, my power's regeneration. Even if you drop me, I'm not going to die. But he doesn't believe her because he's knows Neko, and Neko is the kind of person who would say something like that in order to save him, and while she sacrifices herself. So he's not going to believe her, right? But also he's getting flashbacks from Kuroneko when he fell and Kuroneko didn't let go, and he just doesn't want to. He doesn't want someone else to die because of him. So he wants to make sure that she is saved, and he does save her, but he ends up falling. However, thanks to Kana's forecast and Kotori, he gets saved. Alright? And after this, Hatsuna actually ends up confessing to him and then kissing him, which did actually happen. And all this stuff so far has happened, um, except for the stuff I specifically mentioned. Right? And then Neko got jealous. Unknowingly, she doesn't even know that she's jealous, but she is. She accidentally destroys that tower. It's funny. It's funny how she gets jealous and she doesn't even realize that she's jealous. She doesn't even realize that she's the one destroying stuff. It's funny. Um, Later, we get confirmation from Kogoro that he remembers Nanami. So yeah, he remembers Nanami. Um, and he ends up proposing this theory about the medicine. Right? He proposes that the witches have this enzyme called protease in their bodies, and that's what causes them to melt. But the pills stop protease from melting them. Therefore, in order to save the witches, they don't need to copy the pill. All they need to do is copy the effect of stopping protease, all right, which actually gives them more options because there are probably multiple ways to stop protease from taking effect, all right. And he says that he could probably come up with something in a month that could do that. However, with the 5 witches that they have now, they only have a week, all right, which means that either none of them survive or one of them can survive by sacrificing the pills of all the others. Therefore, all the witches would die except for one. All right. Now, another reveal that happens here is that the reason why he's able to come up with this is because he had a colleague in college who did a paper about protease, and that colleague ends up being Ichijiku. All right, which is interesting. All right, they cut the scene short. In the manga, they had more backstory from Ichijiku and Kogoro in their past, but they cut it short. Um, which that's another gripe I'm going to talk about in like 2 seconds. All right, but yeah. So Kogoro and Ichijiku used to be colleagues. We see a scene here a little later of Ichijiku meeting with Valkyria slash Mako. We learned that her name is Mako. All right, and she looked like she was pissed off at him, but in reality, it turns out she actually loves him. Which I remember reading this in the manga, thinking, "Oh no, this is not going to end well at all. This is going to be stupid. Another girl who's in love with a guy, and it's going to be crazy and stupid and cliche. It's going to be bad." All right, but it's not. It actually ended up being really good. So don't let that turn you off. Um, Instead of letting that turn you off, let this turn you off. The fact that they skipped some of the best scenes in the manga. All right, you guys, like, seriously, you guys need to just read the manga from this point on, like, because they're skipping so much stuff. All right, like when when Hatsuna kisses when Hatsuna kisses Murakami, Kazumi starts to realize that like she needs to step her game up. So she starts being bolder with the way she interacts with him, and I don't want to spoil too much, but let's just say that there's a lot of development between Kazumi and Murakami, and they literally skipped all of it. Like, actually, they skipped all of it. And that was so annoying because part of that was, I think, Kazumi actually knows that Neko is Kuroneko. She figured it out during one of the scenes that they skipped. All right, uh, and she was trying to have this. And when Murakami actually returns to the observatory and tells him about what Kogoro said, she was having this internal uh, battle where she was trying to think of whether or not to tell Murakami about Neko being Kuroneko, because she knows full well that, because Kuroneko told her this during the scene that they skipped, that he would probably do anything for Kuroneko, that he would be willing to die for her, that he would literally be willing to do anything for her. Right? So she knows that if he knows that Neko is Kuroneko, he would probably want her to be the one to survive. But Kazumi doesn't want that. She wants to be the one to survive because she wants to be with Murakami. So she's having this internal battle, and she doesn't want to put herself above the others and be selfish, because they choose her to live. All right, and that's the best case scenario for her. But in the end, she doesn't want to be that kind of person who would sacrifice her friends just for her own selfishness and her own desires. So in the manga, it's more of an internal battle that she has with this, and they skipped it. It's just I just don't. They just make it 22 episodes or something, like it doesn't even, or 20. Nisekoi had 20 episodes. Just make it 20, and then you can fit all of this in. Like I don't. That's what she said, but forget it. All right, like they should just make this anime 20 episodes, and then they could have put all the material in and not skipped any of it. Because this is stupid. This is important stuff, and they skipped it. This is where the regular Magic High School skip stuff sometimes. But this is even worse than that, because this is legit important stuff, and they skipped it. They literally changed Hansu's backstory and how she was introduced into the story just so that they could save time. They skipped all the development that Kazumi has with Murakami, and he got a little bit of development with Neko too, and they skipped that. It was so disappointing. All right, they moving on. Um, Kazumi ends up when it comes to deciding who the one person is that's going to live on, everyone bows out. All right, because Kana can't survive on her own anyway, so she's just like, whatever, don't worry about me. Neko is being Neko, and she's like, I'd rather you guys survive than me, so she bows out. Kotori's like, I should have been dead by now already, so you guys deserve to live instead of me. Kazumi's like, I don't want to live if it means you guys die. And Hatsune's like, hey, I'm just mooching off of you guys, so I don't need to be included in this lottery. However, the truth is she actually has pills of her own, and she can survive for almost a month by herself. All right. In the manga, they here in the anime they said she took the pills off of the girls who were with her when they were traveling with Mako. Nah, that's a load of crap. All right. What happens is that she told when she was attacked by Mako, she told her that she gave her the locations of the pills that she had at her house. However, she actually had pills on her that she didn't tell Mako about, and that's where she got these pills from. Okay. She just had them with her. All right, that's why she has the pill. She didn't take them off of the girls. That's nah. All right. And actually, as a matter of fact, they had pulled all their pills together. Hatsune had kept some of her pills secret. There's 24, all right, or the 24 days worth of pills. Um, she kept those secret, but she had told them about some of the pills she had that weren't included in that 24 days worth. However, when they were deciding to do the lottery, she told them, okay, so since I'm not going to be in the lottery, can I have my share of the pills that would have been included in the lottery? So she actually ends up getting like 5 more days worth of pills. All right. So that would actually put her pretty close to the 1 month mark where she could survive and then be alive for when Kogoro finishes the medicine. And she even gave Murakami this Neko like line where she said, oh, can you tell Kogoro to keep working on the medicine anyway in case other witches come by and they need it. All right, and they were like, wow, I guess she is actually a pretty good person. When in reality, she was being selfish because because she knew she would need she barely had enough pills to last a month, and she wanted to survive. So that's why she wanted him to keep working on the medicine so that she herself could survive, not other people. And so there's a lot of stuff they're skipping in terms of character development here, and it's stupid. Why they should have just made this 20 episodes or 22 episodes or however many they needed, 24, 25, 26. 36, 50, I don't care. Like, not that's way too much. I'm just saying. Right? But they should have just made the anime longer so that they didn't have to skip all this stuff. This is stupid. All right, like whatever. Just at the end of the episode, Murakami figures out that Neko is actually Kuroneko. All right, because Kotori spills juice on Neko. Here in the anime, Kotori pulled her uniform down. In the manga, what happened was that she was actually wearing a collared shirt, like a button shirt, and her shirt was just see-through because of it, and Murakami could see through the shirt that she had the moles there. That's how it happened there. Um, that's how he finds out. And Kazumi knew, like I mentioned before, she knew, so that kind of eliminated that struggle in her head because Murakami found out. So, um, yeah, the reaction was the same. He started crying. He talked to her a little bit outside, blah, blah, blah. Helicopter shows up, and then at the very end of the episode, Mako shows up, and it turns out she actually knows Neko. All right, so um, and they're probably not going to stay very true to the manga after this either, because there's a lot that happens after this, like a lot. All right, and there's no they're probably going to skip like most of this. This is stupid. I can't like this is so stupid. Like I've already ranted enough about it, so I could rant for another 5 minutes, but this is already 17 minutes, and I don't need that. I need this video going much longer. So, as for a rating, I don't even know. Because if you were an anime only viewer, then this episode is probably pretty good for you. But being a manga reader like I am, I know how much stuff they skipped, how much great writing, great content, great development, just great content was skipped here, and it's just so frustrating. Like if you thought that scene with Murakami and Kazumi where she was like where she stripped down in his room and stuff like that, and if you thought that was good, just like then know that the stuff that they skipped was better than that. Like there was no fan service or anything like that, but the scene in terms of development for those two was even better than that. Like like and they skipped. It's so frustrating. I'll give the episode a 6.5 out of 10. Right? If you're an anime only viewer, then this episode is probably at the very least an 8 out of 10 for you. But for me, it's like not no, because I just like I said, I know what I know what I'm missing. So I can only really give this episode a 6.5 out of 10. All right, and that's it, you guys. You guys should really just read the manga from here on out. You should start around the 60s, the early 60s, maybe even the late 50s. It's around there. But yeah, that's it, you guys. Disappointing. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.